This is Ybor City, guys. It's Ybor City in Tampa, and it's Pride Day, and apparently they had a good old time out here. Like it's just looking wild out here.
This is Ybor City and it's Pride Day, so everyone's out here having a great time showing their colors.
All right, guys, we're here in Ybor City, and we're about to go on a ghost tour and go see if we can catch some ghosts in Ybor City, Tampa. So let's go.
Book on Pride, so it is a little crazy out here tonight. And so is Mr. Ybor City anyway. This is just a little bit more than normal. I'm not going to stand out here, scream, holler. What we're going to do is head down to the corner. We're going to cross the street. We're going to get to a quieter place. You have to hit the men's. You good? Good. Let's get the hell out of Dodge.
As you can see, Ybor City is lit up from Pride Day. So everyone was out here just having a blast, having a good time. They're still out here having a good time. Just sharing love.
We're going to be in here for longer than normal. Because normally the party does not start on these streets on the weekend until about 10:30 at night. And you will learn that if you come to school here. But because it is Pride, it's been going on since early this morning. And so I want to keep us out of the noise, be able to have a little bit of a cooler environment. And I am very sincere. We're going to be in here longer than normal. So if you need to sit down, sit down. If you need to sit down, sit down. I really hate the sound of skull material hitting the hard tile. Allow me to tell you what will happen if that happens. I will call 911. And then believe me. Because you're warned. And so there's lots of homeless sleeping on the streets of Mr. Ybor City, and you may wake up with a new best friend. But all kidding aside, get yourselves comfortable. Normally, what you're going to be getting into, we do at the statue of Mr. Don Vicente Martinez Ybor. We cannot do that tonight with all of that early noise. Every ghost tour, no matter where you take that tour, always has history woven into it. And so we do extensive history tours by day. But what we get into tonight has to do with what makes the city as haunting as it is. A little bit of business. There are multiple ghost tours in Mr. Ybor City, just like in St. Augustine, Savannah, New Orleans. But we are the only ghost tour with access to a building that in 2009 was deemed the fourth most haunted building in the country by the ghost hunters. Normally we have complete access to that building, but it has become Pride headquarters. And in their massive courtyard on the west side of the building is a concert, and the building's going to be shaking. And so we're not going to have access to that building. So what we tell everyone when that rarity happens is you're more than welcome back on the tour anytime. You have my phone number. All you have to do is reach out to me and say, hey, it's on that tour on Pride. Welcome back. Now we're going to have some people come in here and disappear behind the stairs. Because there's restrooms back there, but they're the restrooms for the wine bar. So we know what they're going to be doing. They probably don't know what we're doing. Now, you have to understand some of the history, and we're going to focus on what makes it as haunted as this city is. When Mr. Ybor arrives here in the mid-1880s, he himself was 67 years of age. wealthiest Spaniard in the Americas. Depending on your politics, he's either the Elon Musk or the Bill Gates of his day. He is a wealthy industrialist, and he will unleash his vast wealth and virtually overnight create what for 50 years will be the cigar capital of the world. There is no electricity in those days, so all of the factories are built east to west for the sun. And as long as the sun shone, you labored 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. Which the light out of focus. And if you video, you will capture orbs, spheres of light believed to be the energy of the spirits. The second haunting has to do with your soul. But it's that mirror that we're going to concentrate on. Mirrors are the portals spirits were used to travel through the building. A Rotterdam steamship and railroad tycoon by the name of Henry Gravity Plants. The building was a quarter mile long.
It's going to be an excellent story. Oh no, it's just after parties. I don't know. Probably wasn't until 4 a.m.
We also ask that you upload your photos, videos to your computers.
What was that?
All right, guys, because of the whole Pride thing, the tour is kind of being cut short. It's like not short, but we're not going to a lot of the locations where we're supposed to go to. So this guy kind of ripped us off. He ripped us off. He could have told people, hey, listen, you know, because of the Pride thing, you know, a lot of the things we were supposed to do, we won't be able to do today. So maybe reschedule. Nope, he didn't say that. We come here, and then he tells us. So, yeah, let's see what we get.
We leave from that building, left to rot. The idea was there were no tall buildings around here. The idea was stay out of work another day if you want, because we'll be more than happy to put you up next to your union brothers. If you went into your own building, you had to walk under the rotting corpses. So I recommend videoing the tower, but photographs capture some unique things as well.
Alright guys, right? He's telling us to come take pictures of the tower because of the things that happen here. People were hung here. But you can't see anything because there's tint on the windows, right? I don't know if that's inside of the room or if that's tint on the window. I don't know, that looks like there's tint on the window. I don't think that's inside of the room.
They actually had skits called Goth Talk about the goth life in the city. It's only open Friday and Saturdays. If you're tired of living in Kansas, you need like in the house, you got to Applebee's, recommend castle. Looks like a medieval castle on the inside. Gothics, vampires, steampunk, cosplay, everything imaginable. This whole room is a dungeon. It has 2 police jail cells, shackles and chains on the walls. They are now accessories. As you enter the dance floor, which is there, the other side of that window
St. Andrew's Cross. And a young man and woman, dominatrix, S&M, a line of people throughout the night waiting to be tied to the cross and flogged. So if you need a night out, Applebee's just had Conway. I recommend the concert on a Saturday night. 32 years, evidently doing something.
This is the club we're gonna come to then.
Yeah,
when we go
if
out.
I disappear like in the middle of the night, guys, I'm not here. Like, I'm just telling you.
This is the club we're gonna come to when we go out that night. This is the club.
I'm single. I'm just gonna show up here.
All right, so supposedly this is a haunted nightclub. So yeah, cool stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Crazy. I want to go to the dungeon.
Got shackles and
I want to be flogged, whatever that means.
No, there's a cage, and then you get strapped, and then they whip you.
shit. Yeah.
Hey, most people consider that a good time.
That's right. Did you hear why they got lynched?
Jim Crow laws. Do we all know what the Jim Crow laws were? That population of Tampa, an impoverished near bankrupt fishing village, 700 people. When he arrives, they want what he's bringing, which is the money, but not who he's bringing. He's bringing the population up from the Caribbean. They weren't white enough. They didn't speak the language, and they practiced what were considered pagan religions. At the top of that list was Catholicism, Santeria, Voodoo. An immigrant in Hillsborough County in those days can't even rent a room. You're not welcome. And so his city is that immigrant ghetto. Cubans, Spaniards, Germans, Sicilians, Eastern Romanian Jewish merchants from New Orleans, Chinese. There were two social clubs for the Spanish. Centro Español, where we were, and Centro Asturiano. One for the Germans, one for the Italians. But tragically, there were two for the Cubans, because this was the South, post the Civil War and the Jim Crow laws. Now, Mr. Ebor's city has no law, bylaw, for decades. But Hillsborough County had the Ku Klux Klan. And so if you were an African Cuban, a dark skin, and you dared socialize and violate those Jim Crow laws, let's just say there were lots of lynchings on Broadway and public whippings, brutality, horrific acts. In the home of an African Cuban husband and wife in the 1890s, Raputo and Paulina Pedrosa, they will form the first and only dark-skinned social club for the dark-skinned Cubans. So there were two social clubs for the Cubans, one for the light-skins and one for the dark-skins. The home of the Pedrosas will also be Jose Marti's safe house on 19 of his 21 visits to this city. Jose Marti, known to this very day as the apostle of Cuban independence, will travel to this city in the early 1890s to rally support for the final Cuban War of Independence. That revolution, orchestrated and executed from these streets for this nation, becomes the Spanish-American War, organized and executed from these streets. The Pedrosa home will be his safe house. There are assassins everywhere sent by Spain to kill him. Where their home once stood is a park. It's the park of the Friends of Jose Marti. And we will be entering that park tonight. But when we step from the sidewalk and enter the park, we will legally leave the United States of America, and we will legally be in Cuba when we are in that park. I will explain that once we're there.
Oh, that's cool.
what happens when men of color are lynched and left to hang as a warning. In the wee hours of the morning, other men of color will cut their bodies down and they will be buried on the Pedrosa land. The Pedrosas were Cuban insurgents, they were revolutionaries, and no white man would step anywhere near their property. And so that park underneath the ground, which is the soil from the 6 provinces of Cuba, lies the remains of many of those people. And when we enter that park, I will distribute EMF meters, ghost meters, devices used to help us detect the energy of a spirit. Do one for each 2 of you. My case is only so big. And that's going to be our final destination, but I want you to understand what that park is and how haunted that park is. And even to this day, since it is Cuban soil and legally sits as a consulate owned by the people of Cuba, on the weekends, particularly on a Sunday, families will bring the ashes of their ancestors that fled the Castros and are now dying off in Miami of old age to spread those ashes in that park. It's Cuban soil, and legally it is Cuba. So a lot of paranormal activity goes on in that park. But I want you to understand that before we get there. Now, is everybody doing okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Here we go. The original wooden social club that stood here, but it was the light-skinned social club for the Cubans, not the dark-skins. Now, I want you to step off this curb very carefully. All the curbs in Ybor are massive granite slabs. They were the ballast on the ships. They're uneven, some are high, some are low. Step off and follow me.
All right, guys, watch Melissa almost, this is like a canyon tour. All right, so this was the social club for the light-skinned Cubans. Not the dark-skinned Cubans, the light-skinned Cubans.
So fucked up.
And I went out there and performed for my 375 dollars.
And you're back. You're back.
I want to come back, so I'm just waiting on that invitation.
You know how cocktail, right?
This doesn't look like a graveyard, though. Or is this the land? I thought it was a park. We'll find out, guys. I'm not sure. I thought it was a park. I thought we were going to a park. Thank you.
I wasn't sure if we could do this, so I didn't want to say anything. Massive courtyard to the west of the building is where that concert is going on for Pride. But I knew this floor in the theater would be quiet. So follow me into the theater, follow me to the front.
Where you at, my Cubanos? Where you at? I'm not Cuban, but, I'm close. Puerto Rican, baby. Talk to me. All right, guys, I'm going to switch to my thermal camera real quick. Give me a second.
This is when I first see the apparition. You can see it right in front of Aiden, that blackish looking spot. Here is Aiden. That's Aiden lit up recording. And as you can see right there next to Aiden, there's a figure there. And I'm looking at the figure and I see the figure and I can see it on the thermal. And as you can see, it's dark. And it's darker than the seats. It looks like it's someone standing there. As you can see it right there, and I'm like looking at it, and as you can see that I'm walking closer to it, it starts moving towards the right. Look at it, look at it. You see it right there, and it's walking and it's walking, and I'm walking and I'm walking and I'm walking, looking at it, and it disappears behind the pole. And I'm like, maybe it's nothing, but that was definitely something. As you can see, it was a dark purple color because obviously it's a spirit, so it's colder. But there's times where spirits pull in so much energy that their apparitions look red and orange on thermal because they're pulling in the energy from the surrounding room. And sometimes they appear to be orange or red or a brighter color and not just a dark blue. But this one was a dark blue color and you can literally see it walking across. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's a reading, dude. It's gotta go right up to like something for it to go off.
Now I'm an old white guy, I don't sing or dance, so I gotta get up on the stage on Broadway. You really have to remember to photograph in that direction. See, get it, down.
Is it the electric right there? Like underneath or anything, and you gotta touch it. This, I've like tested this one before. You gotta touch it for it to go off like that.
Okay, but you're electric, correct? So why, when you touch it, it's not going off?
No, it's because it's reading electromagnetic waves. I don't have electromagnetic waves, and it uses the magnet that's in the phone. You gotta like touch something for it to go off. I don't trust this.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not really going off with the phone either. There it is.
There you go.
Yeah, so it works. See?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying I am very familiar with it.
The little meter thing is going off here. And as you can see, let me go. See, look.
That's great because you were born here and know so much of that. Yeah.
Now it's gone.
Get into it. Normally
Interesting.
we
Oh,
go to
wait.
history lore and discuss that history. And when we get to Central, we focus right in on the hauntings of that building. But with the noise level.
Yeah,
And I was rushing through it because you could tell people were like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know what that means.
Right.
thing's going crazy.
Yeah, he's like, the first one stopped.
Them Cubans down there.
That's why I don't trust theirs.
Why? Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Let me get
Because
it.
it's like, it seems like it's timed. It feels weird up there, dog. Go all the way in the back room, dude.
Who's the handsome guy? I don't know what's up with this thing. I don't know if it's really like working or it's just like, you know. And this thing is going crazy, but I don't know if it's just set up to go crazy.
I think over here, something must be going on. This side door.
Alright, so this thing is still going crazy down here. I don't know if this thing is just made to do this, but interesting. Alright, let's take some pictures right here. Alright, I took some pictures, so see, when it gets to the mirror, it goes crazy. So going crazy down here. But it could be the wiring in this old building. See, now it stopped. So it could be like wiring down there that makes it do all that. I don't know. Oh, this shit looks sketchy. Alright. Oh my god. Ooh, that scared the shit out of me. I don't know what's over there, but it's hella dark.
That is one building of three. This massive cigar factory complex, 2 years to complete it, 1884 to 1886. While it's being built on 14th and Broadway, temporary wooden cigar factory. Consider it one building. Behind you was his beloved private hotel on the second floor, his private social club known as the Cherokee Club on the first floor. The building is known as the El Pasajea, the passageway. Behind me, under that stucco, was a magnificent brick building. It was Ebor's land and title building. Now when Ebor dies, his empire passed through numerous hands. Since 2010, this entire city block is owned by the Church of Scientology. They're actually replacing all the windows in all three buildings. I'm not a Scientologist, but they are good stewards of the buildings. They just repointed all the buildings, and they had to drill in to the mortar and take samples, have them analyzed, and the original mortar formulation reconstructed because it's a historic building. So redoing all the windows, new roof on all 3 buildings. They do have a little bit of money.
Yeah, they do.
If you happen to be here on a late Tuesday or an early Wednesday morning, you might see John Travolta here because he lives up by Ocala. This is the Church of Scientology he comes to. Now, Scientology owns all of downtown Clearwater. And there you will see Tom Cruise, who has a massive penthouse complex in Clearwater.
Oh, nice.
That building will become a bordello on the 2nd floor. The young girls that work there have to win a beauty contest to work there. Down below, a private casino. And this building will become known as the Bien Publico, the good public, socialized medicine, a hospital, and eventually the Gonzalez Clinic. But back in those days, 90% of the people that enter a hospital will die. 90% will die. There's no antibiotics. Whatever instruments are used on the first patient at first light are used on the last patient at last light. There's no electricity. You have to be operated on in solariums where the sun will provide the light. Anesthesia, whiskey, chloroform, ether. 90% of you will die. But for 25 cents a month, all the medical care you and your family want to try and survive. It was opened by Ramon Avellanal. He was a physician, a pharmacist, a tinkerer, an inventor, and a wealthy businessman. In 1903, his wife, Concepcion, will give birth to their only male son, Jose Luis Avellanal. And as the boy grows, Mom and Dad realize their son, something's not right. So they hire a Cuban nanny, as he is Cuban, who will homeschool him, stay with him his entire life. She'll read books and novels. And the book that changes the direction of his life is Frankenstein. He will believe it to be a true story and spend his life trying to prove the reanimation of human flesh. So intelligent, he's a sociopath and a very strange man to boot. When he is 8 years of age, now in school, but under the watchful eye of his nanny, he'll get in an argument with a classmate and shoot the boy's eye out. His father's wealthy, a doctor, owns a hospital, a little payola. Boys will be boys. In 1893, Mr. Rebor, Ramon Avellanal, and other wealthy businessmen go to the 1893 Chicago World's Fair. And those men from this city meet Tesla and Edison. And Mr. Rebor brings electricity back to his city, while Tampa is still burning candles and kerosene lamps. Mr. Rebor's city has electric lights. That's why they look the way they do. And on Broadway, 7th Avenue, utilizing the narrow gauge train tracks of Henry Bradley Plant, Ybor has an electric trolley system connecting his city. And Ramon Avellanal, enamored with the technology, builds a workshop in his house, which is, well, let's just say Interstate 4 goes over his house. In the corner of that brothel, where he dies in 1982.
Oh, he looks mad. Yeah, he looks insane.
I don't know.
Are we sure he was not successful in the major? No.
All right, guys. So according to the tour guide, as soon as you step into this park, we'll be in Cuba. We'll be in Cuba as soon as we step into this park. This is Cuban land, and it is stated that by law that this is Cuba. You enter this park and you'll be in Cuba. And he says that there's dead people buried in this ground. So right now you're in Cuba, guys. We're in Cuba. I've never been to Cuba before. I'm kind of excited. I don't know. Cuba isn't that impressive. Cuba isn't that cool.
Did you film it?
Yeah.
You be weird sometimes.
You be weird.
I already had a recording though. I'm in Cuba. Jose's in Cuba.
All right. So, like I said, this is Cuba. We're on Cuban lands, so by law, this is Cuba.
I thought this was pretty cool. We're actually in Cuba. I've never been to Cuba before, and I know we're still in the United States, but it's Cuba.
I think we picked the wrong night. It was okay. The best place was the theater, but it wasn't spooky at all. So yeah, we gotta try it again though. I'll give it a second chance.
I agree. It was really boring at first. It's the wrong night. It's really busy. But the theater was the best part. The graveyard was disappointing. It was really small. Not that scary.
I want to go by myself. I don't want to be with other people.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right.
What about you?
I thought it sucked, and I thought he ripped us off. He could have clearly told everyone that it was Pride Day and that there were going to be so many people that places weren't going to be available to us. He didn't let us know that until we got here and everyone was here. So, you know, he kind of like swindled people, because at the end of the day, you were supposed to take us to two places that we didn't go to. So I feel that, you know, that was kind of shady and not right. But he did say that if we call him and let him know that we came on this day, that, you know, he'll welcome us back. But he didn't say if it was going to be free. So we'll have to see. So we'll give it another try. If it's free, if we got to play again, he ripped us off. That old man ripped us off. And you saw how he was getting loud? How he was getting loud? You know why he was getting loud? Because these three were talking and he was getting annoyed. So he was like, so don't talk during the man's tour. Thanks for watching.
He did get louder. He's like,
Come on, you guys saw it. You guys saw it. And we gotta finish tour tonight, a sobriety test in Ybor City. Pride night, Pride day. Good times. This is what happens when you drink. Good times, baby. Good times.